Jeannie, I want to start with you because you're Irena's daughter, and you speak all over the world. You share her story, but seeing your mother's heroic actions on the big screen, seeing her sometimes heartbreaking story, what was that like for you?
Incredible. I have a lot of videos and things of my mom talking, but to see it played out, in actual time, it is incredible. And I sit and watch it probably like everybody else in the audience, like just waiting to see what happens next, even though I know. So, and I said before, Sophie has been um, everything that my mind would have pictured what my mom would have looked like and how she would have acted. So she's honestly was handpicked by God, I think.
Yeah, Sophie, you were really amazing in this film, and I'd previously seen you in Yellow Jacket, so this is such a different role for you, and you really embody Irina and all the emotions she goes through. How did you prepare for this role, and were there any particular moments that you found really challenging?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a big amount of research because one of the challenging parts was to just live up to the expectations of a woman that's led such an incredible, heroic life. And knowing that Jeannie was going to watch it and that friends of Irina were going to watch it, it was a lot of pressure on my shoulders. But I was able to read the book about her life and find some archives on the internet about certain interviews that she'd done. Um, and then I did a certain amount of dialect coaching to have the Polish accent laid down properly. And I think for me, the most challenging part was I think we had such a tight budget for like the grand scheme of what we had to accomplish. And so our days were very hectic and chaotic. And we were shooting in a foreign country. Well, we were shooting in Poland where a lot of the crew did not speak English. So having to coordinate hundreds of background people, like the scenes when we're in the public square and there's the hanging, those were shot in the first few days of shooting when you haven't really established the dynamic on set. And so having to coordinate everyone and such emotional scenes while I was literally watching um tennis balls, which had replaced the actual stunts people that were supposed to be hung. And so I was doing a scene that's super dramatic, which is one of the biggest scenes of the movie, and I had tennis balls and the first AD who was reading the actor's lines. So it was all very overwhelming.
Wow.
Yeah, but we pulled through, and I think what we accomplished with what we had to play with is amazing.
Oh,
Mhm.
and there are so many emotionally powerful scenes. One scene, and I think everyone would say this, that really just sort of was jarring was the scene with the baby. Um, and then there's a full circle moment where at the end we see Irina hugging the baby that was born in captivity. And it's such a beautiful moment. Jeannie, what do you want culture to take away about your mom's dedication to preserving life, especially in the context of rising anti-Semitism that we're seeing all over the world?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my mom was a big proponent of life, honestly, and the value of it. And whether it was from a little wounded animal to the most elderly person and the unborn. So life. There's no hope without life, and so it is all important to hold on to it, to cherish it, to fight for it. And, that was her feelings in their mind too.
Jeannie, what do you think your mom would think of this film, watching her own story on the screen?
I don't know. It was a Broadway play by the same playwright back in 2008 and 2009. And I watched every performance of that. And I see every performance of this movie that I have a chance. And so I've wondered that often. And I hope that maybe she knows about it. I know that she would absolutely love Sophie and think that nobody could have done a better job than her. So yeah, I hope she knows. I hope she knows that her story is getting told.
Sophie, how are you personally impacted by Irena's legacy? I imagine you can't embody this kind of character and be in her shoes for so long and walk away the same person you were before you started filming.
No, it's definitely impacted me so much. I think I carry a lot of her still with me every day just because she tells such an inspiring story, and I think is so relevant to our modern society. I think we are so closed off and centered on our own lives without ever looking up and trying to help the person next to us. And I think she's proof that the smallest actions um can go the longest way. And I think that now it's just a constant reminder that it doesn't have to be as heroic as Irena, but just a smile or a compliment, helping someone pick up a bag, can have a ripple effect down the line. And I think if we were all a little more caring towards each other, um, we'd be in a much more beautiful society.
Yeah, definitely. Jeannie, did you have any idea how timely this film adaptation of this story would be in light of everything going on in the world right now?
No, I did not. It just blew me away when, things happened with Israel and Hamas, and the timing of it, to me, maybe is perfect. I hope that everybody who sees it, because there's unfortunately a decline in support for Israel, even amongst people that are believers or Catholics or Christians, and the young people. And so, yeah, the timing is perfect, I think, and I hope that it has a big impact for that as well.
Yeah, as a Christian and as a supporter of Israel, what specifically do you hope viewers will take away from your mom's legacy and the lessons that she really embodied?
Well, the scriptures are full of verses that say that those who bless Israel will be blessed, and this to support them. And as Christians, Judaism is our root. We there would be no Christianity, no Catholicism, without Judaism. And they are the apple of God's eye, and he told them that he does not change his mind. And so it's been an honor to be a part of their lives, and to support them, and to show the value that they brought to our world. I mean, there are doctors or scientists or musicians, or lawyers. They're brilliant. And I tell the Jewish people that I know that I believe in God basically because I know all these Jewish people. I see all of his brilliance put into them. And so I hope it has a huge impact.
Well, and what type of response have you gotten from people who have heard your mom's story, have seen the play, maybe have screened the movie? What is the resounding theme you're hearing from viewers?
That it's timely, that is a different, I get a lot of people going, oh, I wasn't sure I was going to see it because I've seen so many Holocaust movies and heard so many Holocaust stories. But this one's different. It's not from a Jewish perspective. It's from a girl who was all on her own. She was away from her family. She didn't have her home. She didn't have her parents, her sisters, any friends. It still is a story about how one person can make a difference. And that hopefully shouts louder to everybody, that no matter how insignificant they feel, they have great power to make a difference.
And Sophie, I want to hear from you on this one because I think there's a tendency to sort of ignore our history, especially among younger people. What do you want younger viewers to know about Irena, to take away from this film, to take away from this story?
I think it feels like it's for us so far away and so out of touch and out of reach because it happened. It feels like forever ago, but it wasn't that long ago, and it keeps happening, obviously.
Mm.
And so I think again, I think we should all be more empathetic, and I think we're so quick to judge our differences as a society. And as cliche as it sounds, I think our differences are what makes us beautiful as a human race. And I think it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everyone's opinions and everyone's values, but I definitely think that we should be more empathetic and at least try to be more understanding. And I just hope that people my age, that's what they take away from it, and just try to, like I said earlier, extend a hand to the other person, even though they come from a different point of view.